Yo, tapping in real quick. Something like nothing major, man. Just fitting to sit here, and chop it up with y'all for a few minutes while I pearl this up, fire this up, and burn this motherfucker down. You know what I'm talking about? Nothing too crazy. Feel free to tap out now or at any given time, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, nothing too crazy. Gonna talk about some parlays. Gonna talk about some of these fights for what they worth. Gonna be quite redundant, most likely. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Y'all already know. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah, let's talk about it, man. Live dogs. Let's talk about some of these live dogs on this motherfucking card, man. Staying away from I'm gonna leave the main event and the co-main event the fuck out of this for the most part. You know what I'm talking about? And we're gonna talk about these Chinamen and these China women and Oldberg and Ozdemir. You know what I'm talking about? Mahachete's fighting Mata, but that's part of the China men, China women we gonna be talking about. You feel me? It is what it is, man. Volkan, Ozdemir, listen, man. The proof is in his resume. He has by far been up against it. A lot more than that of Oldberg as of yet, as far as levels of opposition that they've been competing against. You know what I'm talking about? He been up against it, man. He been up against it, man. The man had a title fight with Daniel Cormier. You know what I'm talking about? Fought Anthony Smith and Dominic Reyes when Dominic Reyes was doing his 1-2. You know what I'm talking about? Fucking fought Magomed Ankalaev, Nikita Krylov. The list goes on for the individuals that Ozdemir shared that octagon with. Win, lose, draw. You understand what I'm saying to you? On the other side, man, you can't really make that case for Oldberg, man. It's pretty much womp, 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 womp. You know what I mean? I made a short little clip. Where is that, man? I know I jotted this shit down somewhere, man. Bear with me, because I got shit all over the place. But I wrote this shit down. Let's talk about it real quick. What I mean by, with all due respect to womp, 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 for the most part on Oldberg's side, man. You know what I'm talking about? Kennedy and Chuckwill got him out of there. Now, he's come leaps and bounds since that Kennedy and Chuckwill fight, as far as how he approaches the fight. You understand what I'm saying to you? But Kennedy got him up out of there. Fabio, Tefan, Womp, Womp, Nicolau, Eeyore, Womp, Womp, and Jung Womp. You know what I mean? And then there's Alonzo. Womp. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Now, on the other side of things, Ozdemir been up against it. Title fight with Daniel Cormier, fought Anthony Smith, fought Dominic Reyes, fought Alexander Ratchik, fought Yuri Prohashka, fought Magomed Ankalaev, fought Nikita Krylov. Shit, we can even toss Johnny Walker and Paul Craig in there just, for namesake. You understand what I'm saying to the resumes are undeniably incomparable as far as the levels of opposition that these two young men have been competing up against. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I would not be surprised if Ozdemir came in here and did Oldberg, like I said in the other video, if he came in here and did Oldberg, much like Marcin, did Denise, you know what I'm talking about? And just put this fight down on the motherfucking ground and took the path of least resistance as far as securing his victory is concerned. You understand what I'm saying to you, man? Because I can very much so, I can see it going down like that, man. We back in the house now. We ain't outside, man. It's time to switch all that up. We got that motherfucking heat on automatic. The fans on automatic at 69, but still, I'm in this room. I got one above me and one over there, and it was starting to, get a bit spicy in here, man. But back to Oldberg and Ozdemir. Ozdemir's another one. He's been around for a minute. He has nothing to prove inside that octagon as far as power. being able to disconnect somebody from their consciousness, being able to get into wars, put on good fights. He has nothing to prove, man. Hence why, you know, what? In his last 2 fights, he's got a knockout and a submission. You know, he's not against taking this fight down to the ground and taking the path of least resistance later on in his career, man. He is the better all-around mixed martial artist, Volkan Ozdemir. You know what I mean? He is, man. While Oldberg has worked on rounding out his game, you know what I'm talking about, and sharpening things up, you know, he's more so just worked on that defense, that defensive wrestling and grappling to keep the fight upright so he can, you know, keep it in his motherfucking department where he likes to do his best body of work, where he can shine at. You understand what I'm saying to you? So he's more so working on keeping the fight upright, man. Ozdemir's a motherfucker, man. Ozdemir's a motherfucker, man. He's a dog. He's a dog even if he's a favorite. He's just a dog. You know what I'm talking about? That motherfucker will come forward, the pressure. You know what I'm talking about? He'll put him on his back foot. And if he's able to rip that body and come over the top and then scoop for that motherfucking, you know, wrap his arms around the back of Oldberg and get that double, he could take Oldberg down. He could pound Oldberg out, or he can pound on Oldberg until Oldberg puts himself in a compromisable position by giving up his back or something like that. And Ozdemir will lock up another submission. He'll be 3-3 in his last fights with 3 finishes. And 1 via KO, TKO inside the distance, and 2 via submission, man. I would not be surprised, you know what I mean? So while Oldberg is the pick, because I'm not into pick switching, we already got into that. That will not happen no more moving forward. We'll just properly prepare ourselves for being on the wrong side of certain picks as far as parlays are concerned. And this is it, man. Watch out for this fight. Proceed with extreme caution, man. But that's all, man. I just felt like, you know, running down their resumes real quick as far as who they've competed against inside this UFC octagon as of yet was worth mentioning, man. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Styles make fights, you know, but it's all worth consideration, man. It's all worth consideration. Win, lose, you know, Volkan has shared that octagon with pretty much the best of the best. Cormier when he was a champ. Magomed Ankalaev, you know what I'm talking about? Yuri Prohashka, individuals who have touched that title, you know what I'm talking about? And individuals who have produced very solid bodies of work en route to trying to touch that title or get into contention for touching that title. Like Ozdemir's been in there and he's been up against it, man. And nothing would surprise me in this matchup. I said it, Oldberg has to stay safe, man. He has to stay safe. You know what I'm talking about? If he does not stay safe, that will prove to be problematic for that young man. You know what I mean? But, you know, enough of that, man. When we're talking about staying away from the first fight of the night, staying away from the last fight of the night, staying away from these female fights, you know what I'm talking about? Staying away from all these question marks. It's hard to really lock in on things this week, man. But for me, other individuals might not be comfortable with it. I have locked in, you know what I'm talking about, on, how you say old boy's name? Tumendemberel. You know what I'm talking about? I've locked in on him as a dog. You know what I mean? And I've locked in on Song as a dog. And I've locked in on Zhang. And those 3 come together at plus 701 for me. Now, if I add Oldberg, they come together at plus 1,003. And when I swap out Oldberg for Ozdemir, they come together at plus 2,303. You understand what I'm saying to you? So it's 1,003 with Oldberg. It's 2,303 with Ozdemir. You know what I mean? I still like Long, Yu, and Choi. Long, Yu, and Choi come together at plus 445. And if I toss in 2, you know, Tumendemberel, they come together at plus, you know, 1230. So Long, Yu, and Choi is plus 445. That's just rolling the dice on these individuals, man. I may very well come out on the wrong side, but it is what it is, man. The degenerate in me wants to play and gamble on the unknowns this weekend. So that's what's happening. Long, Yu, Choi, and Fang, they come together at plus 600. I toss in Toon, they come together at plus 1610. Then I get Spicy and toss in Jose, they come together at plus 5885. Or swap out Jose and toss in Kavanaugh for plus 2113. You know what I'm talking about? I did a nasty little Hail Mary with no females, no main event, and no first fight of the night. You know what I'm talking about? And I came to 8 legs. We're going to talk about these dogs first. It's a Hail Mary, man, at plus 45,762. You know what I'm talking about? I took Jose as the dog, the big dog, at plus 310. He's 7-0. Kavanaugh's 7-0. You know what I mean? Kavanaugh, 5 knockouts, 2 decisions. Jose, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. What's to say Jose doesn't get another finish inside the distance or win his first fight, you know, via decision like Mauricio Ruffy or Bo Nickel did over the weekend. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to roll the dice. It's something light, you know what I mean? 40 plus 45,762. You better only sprinkle something light, man. It's 8 legs. You could put $8 on it and still hit, you know, for thousands of dollars, man. You know what I'm talking about? But I took Jose as a dog. I took the boy Tum. Endemberel as a dog, Ozdemir as a dog, and Song as a dog. All the bark and pop the fuck off. Then I took Zhang as a favorite, Yu as a favorite, Choi as a pick'em, and Long as a slight favorite. And they came together at plus 45,762. Hail Mary toss, man. I told you, man. The degenerate in me just wants to play. I got sprinkles all over these China men and China women. You know what I'm talking about, man? And, you know, for those who like the favorites, for those who just want to rock with these favorites, you know, Kong, Zhang, and Fang, the 3 biggest favorites on the card for the most part. They come at minus 117. If you toss in the other biggest favorite on the card, Kavanaugh, if that's how you say his name, Kong, Zhang, Fang, and Kavanaugh come together at plus 140. Then you can toss in Oberg, and they come together at plus 231. And if you want to keep that trend going with the, you know, favorites, but you're unsure about Oberg, you can take Oberg out and go Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and Piotr Yan at plus 218. You know what I'm talking about? Kong, Zhang, Fang, and Kavanaugh come together at plus 140. Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and Oberg come together at plus 231. If you're kind of unsure about that Oberg fight, rightfully so, but you're solid on the main event, you think Jan's the way to go, then take Oberg out. Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, they're plus 140, but when you toss in Piotr Yan, Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and Piotr Yan are plus 218. And if you like the other Yan, XIA, in the co-main event, then you can catch those individuals all together at plus 370. And that would be Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, the 3 biggest favorites on the card, followed by one of the other more significant favorites on the card, Piotr Yan, in the main event, and followed by Yan, XIA, however you say her name, in the co-main event. And that's plus 370. You know what I'm talking about? Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and just Yan, XIA. Just, you know, this is a China play. This is a China man, China woman play. So when I say Yan, I'm not talking about Piotr. This is just China men and China women. You know what I'm talking about? And all favorites. You figured me? So Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and Yan that's taking on Richie. Those 5 favorites come together at plus 255. And if you toss in Mahashete, they all come together at plus 421. And if I'm not mistaken, that's all China men and China women. You know what I'm talking about? So, I don't know what they doing out there, but the way they just jumped towards the door made it sound like somebody pushed that door open. You saw my face? Boy, I was ready to hop up out this chair. Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and Yan, XIA, in the co-main event. Those 5 come together at plus 255. You toss in Mahashete, those 6 come together at plus 421, and that's a 6-leg, all-favorite China man, China women play. If you want to swap out Mahashete for Mata to be your one dog to bark and pop the fuck off, they come together at plus 38. You know what I'm talking about? So Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and Yan XIA come together at plus 255. You toss in Mahashete. That's 6 legs, 6 favorites. China men, China women parlay at plus 421. Or swap out Mahashete for Mata at plus 838. You know what I'm talking about? And one more again for you. Kong, Zhang, Fang, and Kavanaugh. Those 4 heavy favorites on the card, the biggest favorites on the card, come together at plus 140. If you toss in Oberg, they come together at plus 231. If you just like them 4, but you're unsure about Oberg, but you're solid on the Yan pick, Piotr Yan in the main event, then Kong, Zhang, Fang, Kavanaugh, and Piotr Yan. 5 of the more significant favorites on the card come together at plus 370. You know what I'm talking about? Something like nothing major, man, as far as all that's concerned, man. And I got action. I got action on Ozdemir and Yan. You know what I'm talking about? I threw $50 on Ozdemir and Piotr Yan just because of last night when I was rolling up that strawberry cheesecake and I just couldn't get that shit out my mind. It's like them motherfuckers was trying to decide who they were going to give knockout of the night to. If they was going to give it to Volkan Ozdemir for the way he folded up and crumbled, you know, Los, the ball Oberg, or if they was going to get that shit to Piotr Yan for the way he just obliterated motherfucking Figueiredo in the 4th round. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this shit was real specific in my head, too. You know what I mean? Fucked up being on the other side of both them picks, but my head just gave me a clear motherfucking movie. You know what I mean? Like, it gave me a up-close, in-person, early preview of what might possibly fucking happen. So just because of that shit and the way that that shit bothered me and irked me all fucking night, man, earlier I just went and dropped $25 a man, $50, 2 legs, you know what I'm talking about, on Volkan Ozdemir and Piotr Yan wrapped together, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. I got all types of motherfucking sprinkles all over this card, but that was one that I just had to put in just because of the way that motherfucker had me feeling, man. You know what I mean? That motherfucker had me feeling crazy, and I was going to be feeling real crazy at the end of the night if I didn't put that motherfucker in. And then go also duplicate motherfucking, you know, parlays that I already had in and swap out those legs. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I was over there dropping more of them in, more of them in, more of them in. Had to get more of them in today, more of them in. You know what I'm talking about? I was just putting them motherfuckers in. Look, they coming out of different parts of the motherfucking wallet. You know what I'm talking about? I had to get more of them in. I just got sprinkles all over this card, man. I got about 19 more sitting up on the motherfucking counter, man. You know, nothing crazy, though. We talking about a bunch of, you know, 5, 8. Sometimes I might have 8 legs with 2 dogs. I might have just put $8 on it. You know what I'm talking about? I got all types of little sprinkles, $5, $10, you know, $5 on 10 legs, $10 on 10 legs. You know what I'm talking about? This and that, dog plays. Just, you know what I mean? I got all kinds of nut ass shit going on just because my degenerate ass wanted to come out and play, roll the dice and gamble on all these motherfucking unknowns taking place on Saturday, man. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I know what to look forward to in the main event. And pretty much in the co-main event with Mahashete and Mata, Salikov and motherfucking, you know, Song. And when it comes to Oberg and Ozdemir, I know where to proceed with caution and how to go about applying swap out options and all that, man. But when it comes to some of these other unknowns, man, I'm just, you know, the degenerate in me wants to come out and play. I want to fucking gamble. You know what I'm talking about? And I got small, I got 3-leggers, 4-leggers, 5-leggers, 6-leggers, 7-leggers, 8-leggers, 9-leggers, 10. On the motherfucking app, I got 13-leggers. You feel what I'm saying to you? 12-leggers. We gonna be fucking with the props in the prop section and putting something together on there. You know what I'm talking about? Something like nothing major, man. I ain't going too crazy. Probably got about a nickel that's gonna go into this card. You know what I mean? Like little nickel, man. You figured deal me, but it is what it is, man. I won another 800 a couple motherfucking nights ago on those overs and unders for the first half in NBA. You know what I mean? That's an everyday thing for me, man. When it comes to certain shit like baseball, when MLB's running, when basketball's running, every fucking day, man. When it's on, I'm over there, man. Huh? I'm on the kiosk, or I might be on the motherfucking app. The degenerate in me just likes to go in and live bet on the motherfucking kiosk, get my fucking ticket. I like to have my parlay tickets and shit. That's how I started doing this shit, you know what I mean? So I like, the degenerate in me just likes to do that, man. But what? I'm on these overs and unders, man. You know what I'm talking about? I might go over there and put 3 of them together, drop a little 30 on it to secure that bag, and then I start playing with my 5. And overs and unders, they all around like -108 to -116, -118. So if you put 5 of them together, you can put $5 on it, and that motherfucker's gonna hit for like $115. You feel what I'm saying to you? So you don't have to go crazy, and I do it every day with the NBA. You know what I mean? The same way I do it every day with the MLB when it's running. First 5, overs and unders, whole game, overs and unders, you know what I mean? I don't really play the money lines for the teams and all that when it comes to MLB and NBA, because I don't know a whole lot about that, man. I'll go do my little bit of homework and research as far as how many points they giving up in the first half and how many points they getting in the first half, and they run so far as of yet. And if it's been so, if we deep into the motherfucking seasons, man, then I might just run back they last, 10, 15, maybe 20 games and see what they gave up in the first half, what they got in the first half and allowed to be, gotten against them in that first half, man. And I do my little 1-2 and put my little shit together and roll my dice as far as overs and unders are concerned. You know what I'm talking about? And, it is what it is. I mean, damn, boy, you almost knocked all my shit over, Zeus. I'll hit 1 or 2 times a week. Nothing crazy, though, because I hit on, like, the 3-legger. You know what I mean? That I put $30 on. And I might get, like, $180 off of it. You feel what I'm saying to you, man? Sometimes I'll hit the 3-legger and the 5-legger. You know what I mean? And then it goes crazy. You hit the 3-legger, the 5-legger. You know what I mean? You might hit the 8-legger. You feel me? I've hit the 8-legger. All you got to do is put $10 on 8 legs, and it hits for around $1,600 every time. You know what I'm talking about? You can put $8 on that 8 legs, and it's going to hit over a stack. You know what I mean? So I fuck with the overs and unders. I'm a degenerate, man. You know what I mean? This UFC, when it comes to combat sports, and I don't bet on boxing. You know what I mean? I'm not betting on PFL or any of that. I only bet on the UFC. I only gamble on the UFC, the NBA, the NFL, and the MBL. I said the MBL, the motherfucking MLB. All these letters got me fucked up, man. But that's all I do, man. But when them things is running, I'm running to the window, man. I'm trying to make something happen. I'm trying to get into that bag in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You know what I mean? And, cash them things in and put them, sometimes, I hit for that little $180 or something. I might just take that thing on over there, throw that buck, put that slip right in the motherfucking machine, let that $180 come up on the motherfucking joint, man. You know what I'm talking about? I threw 30 down. You feel me? So I'm getting my 30 back, and I'll take, I might take the double down. You know what I mean? So I put the slip in there for that $180 off that 30, and then I'll go ahead and I'll run like $100 or $120 worth of motherfucking what ifs and prelims and main card bets for UFC, early birds, you know what I mean? Depending on when I hit that ticket throughout the motherfucking week, man. You know what I mean? Let this motherfucking, let this extra credit, extracurricular paper play, pay for all these other extra credit, extracurricular activities, man, as far as my degenerate shit goes. You feel me? I don't like going in the pocket for this shit. Going in the motherfucking wallet, going hitting the motherfucking bank, having to pull out the card and make deposits. You understand what I'm saying to you? Fuck all that, man. When it comes to these motherfucking apps, I'll take some motherfucking cash, deposit that motherfucker at the Walgreens on the Venmo, and I don't like hooking all my shit that's connected to my bank account and all that. Nah, you can miss me with all that. Let me just go get me this little Venmo or this little Cash App. Let me throw something on that real quick, and let me go ahead and put that on this motherfucking sports book. You know what I'm talking about? And normally if I cash out a motherfucker, when I cash out the ticket, that's what I'll do. I'll take that motherfucking, I'll cash them motherfucking tickets out, you know what I mean? While I'm cashing them out in the casino, I'll go ahead and place some early bird parlay. Like if I'm cashing out on Sunday, I'm cashing parlays out on Sunday, I'm putting in early bird parlays on Sunday, you know what I mean? To catch that early bird money. You feel what I'm saying to you? Them good money lines, man. And then I'll slide by the Walgreens or something on the way home, deposit on the Venmo, and then drop something on the motherfucking app, man. I don't do a whole lot of playing with my own money, man. You know what I mean? I play with the money that I've accumulated off of this shit, man. I've had motherfucking night. Wait till Throwback Thursday tomorrow when I upload some of these motherfucking parlays that smack crazy. Boy, oh boy. You know what I mean? When you have nights like that, man, you better not never have to go back into your motherfucking personal shit to pay for none of this, man. You know what I'm talking about? I've had some crazy motherfucking nights, and I'd be a fucking idiot to give it back, man. I don't go crazy. Like, if I put $500 into a card, you know what I'm talking about? If I'm 500 or 600, like, I think I might have been 650 into a card this year, man. Like, I don't go crazy, man. The most I might have put into a card might have been like around 650, 700. But that thing was broken down. Like, yeah, I had a $50 bet and a $50 bet and a couple $25 bets. But boy, I had a bunch of $10 bets and $8 bets and $5 bets, and my $50 bet hit. But my $50 bet was for like $1.50. You know what I mean? And you know, my 50 back. It might have been for like $1.30 and my 50 back. So the 50 turned into like $1.80, and the other 50 turned into maybe like $2.25 or something like that. My $25 bets might have turned into like $1.75 or something like that. But them $8 and $10 and $5 bets that hit, boy, they turned into thousands of motherfucking dollars, because they was haymakers and Hail Marys, and everything just happened to hit on all cylinders that night, man. You know what I mean? And when you have nights like that, I mean, how can you be mad when you lose a little bit, man? The winnings be so significant off of these parlays. That's why I put them together the way I do. I get it about being safe and finding 2 legs or 3 legs or maybe 2 props that you like, you know what I'm talking about, and going heavy on it. Cool. Cool, man. You know what I mean? That's what I do that too. But when I go heavy on that, that's not bringing back anything crazy. So if I tell myself, man, listen, I'm going to drop a nickel into this card, well, let me find a solid set of props or a solid couple legs that I can drop this little 50 or 100 on. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe 150 on. That's going to bring me back about 500. You know what I mean? So that way, when I put in the rest of my little shit at the end of the motherfucking day, you know what I mean? As long as those main legs or main props or whatever it is I put in and went heavy on, as long as they secure the bag, everything I invested into the card is coming back. Now, if anything else smack, that's extra credit. That's extracurricular. You know what I'm talking about? It's why I don't just take 500 and put it on that one play. You know what I mean? I'll bust that 500 down, put half of it on that one play, and take the other half of it and sprinkle some shit. Sprinkle some dog plays, put some prelim parlays together, put some main card, because you can very easily take 250 and drop it on a couple legs to bring you back like 750. You know what I'm talking about? Or something, you know what I mean? Like 3 times your money or something. So you drop that little 250 down there to get you like 750 back. Cool. But take your other little 250, instead of dropping 5 on it to get the 15 back, drop the 250 on it to get the 750 back. It's still 750 off of 200, off of 250. You feel me? And take your other 250 and sprinkle, man. Maybe $50 on the main, on 5, you know, on 5 legs, or $25 on 5 legs for the prelims, $25 on 5 legs for the main card, $25 on, you know, something sprinkled between the prelims and the main card. Find you a couple dogs, or maybe 1 dog, and just put, you know, something down on that dog as a dog play it, plus whatever that number is. Like, it's other ways to go about breaking this shit down so you can really smack that motherfucking card, man. You know what I mean? But that's just me. That's why I'm the degenerate that I am. That's why I put in all the different variations of the parlays that I put in. But at the end of the day, it works for me, man. You know what I mean? So I stick to what works, man. When I don't put my prelim parlays in, and I don't put my main card parlays in, and I just put individuals that I like from the prelims and the main card together, and I roll all my dice on one, you know, one play, possibly maybe 2 plays, like 1 play and then a haymaker, you know what I mean? More times than not, that 1 play, even if it's 4, 5, or 6 legs, and then my haymaker might be 6, 7, or 8 legs, my 1 play comes up 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5, and then my haymaker or Hail Mary comes up, you know, 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10, because absolutely everybody else comes through, you know what I mean? Like, it be that one individual to fumble the bag, and I've been on the wrong side of that shit too many times, man, in the past, where, you know, I put all my motherfucking eggs in one basket, all my cookies in one motherfucking bag, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it, as far as betting on a UFC card is concerned, man. And I learned, you know, I learned. Just Just like anything else in motherfucking life, man. You got to take your losses as lessons. And if you keep putting yourself in the same position over and over again and keep getting the same thing you've been getting over and over again, man, you can't keep trying to look for somebody to point a finger at, man, because nobody's forcing you to make these motherfucking, bets in any way, shape, form, or fashion, man. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. To each their own. Everybody's going to do what they feel like works for them. And, to each their own. Best of luck with any and all bets and parlays, man. You know what I mean? For me, it's a must to break it down the way that I do. Because when it all comes together, boy, oh boy, it comes together. Like when them prelim parlays hit and the main card parlays hit, which means those whole card parlays hit and possibly some haymakers or Hail Marys hit as well. Oh my God, man. Crazy nights, man. I'm talking about crazy nights, man. You know what I mean? I done made the kind of bank off of a UFC card that certain individuals making a year of working, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like some people only out here making 30, 40K a motherfucking year, man. I done did that on a motherfucking UFC card in the past off of motherfucking, not even $1,000, man. You know what I'm talking about? Just based off of the weight, on a night where I only invested around $600 and some into the card. Just based off of how you put them motherfuckers together, man. You know what I'm talking about? And, man, they smack. They smack. And when they smack, man, like when they smack, boy, man, they can be a fucking problem when they smack, man. When they smack, they can be a problem when they smack. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's find a night that went, here's a night that went crazy. I believe this is all from one night. You know what I'm talking about? And talk about going crazy, man. You know what I mean? Because motherfuckers went crazy. Don't mind, I had put these up somewhere else before, so I blocked shit out, you know what I'm talking about? But you could do the math in your own motherfucking head when you look at the numbers, man. You know what I'm talking about? That was a 7-fight prelim clean sweep with 3 underdogs wrapped in that motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about? Plus 290, plus 180, plus 130, wrapped up with, 4 favorites, man, for absolute obliteration of the fucking prelims. And when you're crushing the prelims like that, going into the main card, and you got main card parlays live and whole card parlays and haymakers that have most of that already wrapped up in them, and you just waiting. I mean, come on, man. This is why we do, and this is all that night for individuals that be acting like these 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and all that. Like this another 7-leg parlay. This was all favorites from that same night, though. You know what I'm talking about? That went ahead and did what it was supposed to do. This is an 8-legger from that night. You know what I'm talking about? With the favorites that came through and did what it needed to do. You know what I'm talking about? This was another 8-legger from that night with favorites that came through and did what it needed to do. You understand what I'm saying to you? This was a 9-legger with the 9th leg being at plus 300. That very much so boosted that motherfucker to come through and do what it needed to do. You understand what I'm saying to you? And you see that 300. You see I caught her on the other one for the prelim sweep that night at plus 290. So that's what I mean. But I'll be in here catching these motherfucking lines, man. I caught her at plus 290. I caught her at plus 300 as a 9th motherfucking leg. You feel what I'm saying to you? And then here's a 10-legger from that night, where the 9th and 10th leg are underdogs at plus 180 and plus 130. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's an absolute must to put these prelim parlays in, these main card parlays in, these whole card parlays in, these haymakers in, these Hail Marys in, these all favorites, these swap out options. Huh? It's absolutely fucking necessary, man. You know what I'm talking about? I got so many fucking tickets around this motherfucking house. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to do a throwback Thursday, a toss back Tuesday, or what's happening Wednesday. Huh? Man! I'm a mangle them Monday and upload some of these motherfuckers, man, periodically, man, as, moving on in the future so motherfuckers can see. I don't just be over here running my motherfucking yacht. Huh? I be over here putting my motherfucking money where my mouth at, man. You know what I'm talking about? And we talking about UFCs and had 39 events so far, if I'm not mistaken, since January of 2024. And I've been able to cash either tickets or a ticket in some way, shape, form, or fashion for 30 of those events, man. You understand what I'm saying to you? Whether it was something light, nothing major, just getting my money back, something light, nothing major, just getting my money back with a little bit of profit, you know what I'm talking about? Or, you know, something kind of nice, something quite nice, or something quite fucking significant. You understand what I'm saying to you? When you wrapping up 7 legs on the prelims, and 3 of those legs are a plus 290, a plus 180, and a plus 130, man, you already know what's happening. Huh? When you wrapping up 10 legs and your 10th and your 9th and 10th leg are a plus motherfucking 180 and a plus 130, when you wrapping up 9 legs and you capping off your 9th leg with a plus 300, man, like you already know what it's hitting for. And then you got your other parlays sprinkled around with your all favorites and your swap out options, man. Come on, stop it. Yeah. Of course, I tossed out multiple tickets that night. Quite a few tickets went out the window that night. But you could miss me with them because going into the prelims, coming off the prelims, going into the main card, none of that shit meant nothing. None of that shit meant nothing, man. You talking about a prelim card that I had $250 invested into just the fucking prelims and came up over $14,000, man. When the night was over, when we hit the haymaker on the main card, when the final leg came in for the haymaker, that was another 11,000 motherfucking dollars off a half a fucking man. And stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You'll never get me to stray away from these parlays. I don't give a fuck what anybody taps in and says, man. You'll never get me to stray away from these. I'm tossing in 3-leggers, 4-leggers, and 5. I do the 2-leggers just like you as well, but I'm tossing them in all the way to fuck up. I'm getting on the app and I'm running it up. We got 13 fights. I got 13 picks for $13. Let's run that shit. Stop playing with me, man. It's worth the roll of the dice, man. Put 50 cent a man. It's 13 fights. Put 50 cent a man on it. You know what I'm talking about? Put 650 on it. It's still going to hit for like 30 fucking grand if you get it right. You feel me? Like, come on, man. These things are worth a roll of the dice. And I'm a fucking degenerate. I'm going to roll them for the rest of my life just based off of the fact that the nights that I've had where everything is smacked. Like, I have nights where sometimes I just hit on the prelims. Sometimes somebody fumbles on the prelims and I just hit on the main card. Sometimes it's the, swap out options. Sometimes it's the all favorites I put together for y'all. Sometimes it's the parlays that I put together for y'all that, have the individuals that are, not necessarily on the same side as me as far as picks are concerned. To secure your back door type of situations, man. Sometimes it's those that hit. It ain't always my picks, man. That's why I do this shit. And you'd be fucking ludicrous to think that I'm not sprinkling on a lot of this shit. I'm not just tapping in here and doing this shit for y'all. I'm not doing all this math and doing all these swap outs and putting all these prelims and main cards and whole cards and dog plays and, parlays together with individuals that are not necessarily my picks. Like, I'm not doing all that shit just for y'all. It's for all of us, man. I'm trying to make sure we can all get to the bag in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether it's from my picks that I like and the parlays that I'm heavy on, or it's the picks that y'all like and the parlays, the individuals that y'all are heavy on, and the conversations we've had in the comment section or whatever the case may be, the nights that kept me the fuck up tossing and turning because certain names were just going, ringing in my head, man. I do my best not to put myself or anybody else in them situations, man, because anybody who's truly a degenerate, who's going to sit there and tell me they've never had that moment, I'm going to tell you, you's a motherfucking liar, man. Anybody and everybody who rap Israel Adesanya in they parlay just to cap they parlays off, and that whole night just went banini, just woo, everything was just hitting on all cylinders for y'all, all the way up until the main event when Sean Strickland just fucked everything up. For individuals who were affected by that, you're not going to tell me Israel Adesanya's. Like, you couldn't just get that motherfucking name or Sean Strickland's, like somebody's name was stuck in your fucking head for quite a bit. You know what I'm talking about? Because I've had some motherfucking nights, man, where I just wake the fuck up. This raggedy motherfucker. I knew better. I fucking knew better. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I know. I told these motherfuckers on YouTube not to do that shit. And I did it. You know what I'm talking about? I've had nights like that, man, because as much as I sit here, you know, and as much as we all want to practice what we preach, it's some shit falls through the cracks, man. And it's been some motherfucking weeks, boy, where I looked and I said, motherfucker, where my wallet at, man? AG, talking to my daughter, my youngest, who's heavily into the UFC with me and makes her own bet. My AG, go, man, pull all the tickets out, man. Hey, go out to the car, look in the middle console, look in the glove box, man. Hey, yo. I could have swore I put that motherfucker. I'm pulling papers out. I'm pulling notepads out. I'm pulling, you know, the parlay section for the parlay video for all the parlays I read to y'all. And it's all just right there. Bong, bong, bong in black and white. But I didn't put it the fuck in. I've had those times, man. Boy, oh boy, have I had those moments. More than I'd like to fucking admit. Listen, I secured a bag. You know what I'm talking about? But it was something light, nothing major. Had I put that motherfucker in, like I told motherfuckers it was worth putting in, I'd have fucking wrung their neck, huh? And because I didn't, you know, it be that one motherfucker. It be that one fight, that one name. It just ringing and ringing and ringing woo, 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 in my head for like 72 hours. I can't get it the fuck out. I don't like that shit, man. So I do my best to make sure I don't have to go through that shit no more. I don't want nobody to go through that shit. That's some bullshit. I can't even sit still right now thinking about it. It's some bullshit, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like if I had Oldberg in my main, every fucking Oldberg fumbled the bag, or Song was locked up in everything, because I like Song, man, and I like Tom and them fucking underdogs, man, you know, for these significant favorites that are on this card that I also like, man, to get a decent number as a fucking degenerate, you know. That fucking greedy engine gets fine-tuned, and I start wanting a bigger plus money number. So as much as, you know, I like that and I want that, I've had to find, you know, parlays to zone in and lock in on. It don't have Song in them. It don't have underdogs in them. You know what I'm talking about? It just is what it is. And it's something light, nothing major. I'll go a little bit heavier on it. So that way, at least if that's smack, I'll get my money back plus a little bit of a profit. And the profit's a profit. You know what I'm talking about? It's just, it's certain Oldberg, it's certain individuals, man. Like Ozdemir would be haunting your fucking dreams if you had Oldberg as a lock and you locked him up and everything. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I've been down that route, man. That's why I do all of this with all these swap out options, and I'm so fucking redundant. You know what I'm talking about? And why I just tap in periodically throughout the fucking week. And sometimes I just riddle it with the same shit over and over again because, you know, I don't want motherfuckers tapped in live talking about this, that, and the third. Damn, I had everything on this motherfucker or that motherfucker. I ain't had nothing else going on. I had one parlay in. Fuck it. Nah, this ain't that kind of night, man. This ain't that kind of night. This the kind of night where you have fun. This the kind of night where you sit back and you gamble on all these unknowns, man. Huh? Jose and Cat, listen, I get it. I get it. Old boy's 7-0. He's 7-0. All right, well, Jose's 7-0 too, man. So what we really saying? The level of opposition that they've been competing against, there's no great significance there. You understand what I'm saying to you? And he got 5 knockouts and 2 decisions. He got 6 knockouts and 1 submission. He don't know what it's like to go the distance. Maybe he goes the distance for the first time and wins his first fight via decision. Maybe he finds another finish inside the distance. Maybe the Kavanaugh kid justifies his price tag. Who the fuck really knows, man? I want to gamble. I want to roll the dice. I want to find out, man. I want to make these unknowns a bit more exciting for me. You know what I mean? Call me what you will, but you know, I want to have fun with this motherfucking card, man. So I want all types of action, you know what I mean? I want all types of swap outs. I mean, I want to go this way and that way, and I just want to see how the dice lay and see what the fuck happens at the end of the day, man. I got a nice solid play in with some favorites that I went heavy on. This going to bring me back 3 times my money, so I should be good. God forbid one of them fumbles the bag, which is normally the case. But if they don't, I should be good, and then I just want to play. I want to play. I don't know who else want to play with me. I don't know who else want to gamble with me. I don't know who else is degenerate, itching to come the fuck out and gamble on these unknowns. But that's what I'm here for, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's what all these parlay options are for. You know, whether you're fucking with Jan or you fucking with Figueiredo, Jan or Richie, you know what I'm talking about, Song or Salikov, Oberg or Ozdemir, Mahashete or Mata, Fang or Shishai Shay, however you say some of these individuals' names, I'm trying to get spicy, man. You know what I'm talking about? It's worth rolling the dice on some of these dogs because, you know, come on, man. Especially when you got two individuals that's 7-0. They coming out here and they fighting to keep those undefeated records intact. One of them has 100% finishing rate, never lost. The other one, I guess you would call that, what, like a 80% finishing rate or something like that. But it's never lost, so he knows what it's like to go to the cards. I don't know, man. It's worth a roll of the dice on the dog for me, though, man. You know what I mean? Because he going to be fighting to keep that O just as much as old boy's going to be fighting to keep his O. And he don't know what it's like to, you know, have motherfuckers survive his storms, man. So will his spirit get broke? Will he mentally start to fall apart and then be able to get picked apart until he fucking crumbles and folds like a lawn chair and old boy justifies his price tag? Or will he come out here and starch and stiffen up this scrap and fuck everybody's shit up? Huh? That's what I'm in this for this weekend, man. Yeah, I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm in this for this weekend, man. And hopefully I can find the proper parlay placement and the proper individuals in certain matchups that need swap out options. Hopefully they're properly applied. You know what I mean? And we can get into these bags because the unknowns got me, man. They got me geeked up. I ain't even hit the weed yet, and they got me geeked up, man, because there's so many unknowns. This is rolling. This is like rolling roulette. This ain't the poker table. You know what I mean? This ain't the poker table. This is the roulette table, man. Tonight, this is the roulette table. You know what I mean? There'll be a chess match taking place in the co-main and main event. You feel what I'm saying to you? But this is a roulette. This is a roulette table. You know what I mean? For the most part, man. And I'm willing to roll this motherfucking, let this motherfucker wheel spin. I'm a 2nd and 12 guy. Put me on the avenue, 19, 20, and 21. You know what I'm talking about? Put me on 14, put me on 16. If we outside of the 2nd and 12, put me on 1, 4, 7, 10, and 3. You know what I'm talking about? If we stepping outside of that, you can put me down here, put me on 34, 36, 33, 28, and 25. Other than that, keep me in the 2nd and 12, man. We on the roulette table on Saturday night, man. Let's spin this motherfucking wheel and see where that shit, you know, see how it comes out, man. That's how I feel about this shit. Should all be minus 110, minus 110 pick'ems, man. That's how I'm looking at this shit, man. Pick your own poison. I've picked mine. I'm siding with who I'm siding with. You know what I mean? I'm swapping out who I've decided to swap out with. And I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. This probably going to be the last time y'all going to have to be bothered with me this week as far as this card is concerned. You know what I'm talking about? You might catch me on a couple little short clips. You know, throwing out some parlays. But other than that, it's a wrap. You know what I'm talking about? I've been as redundant can be. You know what I mean? It's hard to stay away from certain matchups. You know, when I try to operate by my little parlay structure, when I do, you know, I'm on the side of some dogs, man. But last week, that's how it was as well. You know, there was Charles, there was Marcus, and there was Obama. You know what I'm talking about? All under the minus 300 money line, all bettable and respectable and parlayable, you know, money lines for the most part for Charles, Marcus, and Obama. And then my two dogs were Ramiz and Jimmy. You know what I'm talking about? When we stayed away from the main event and we stayed away from the first fight of the night and we stayed away from the ladies and we stayed away from the heavyweights and we stayed away from the individuals over the minus 500 money line, you know what I'm talking about? And we stayed away from all the, you know, very questionable fights. That was what we came with. Well, this week, you know, I like Much like I liked Ramiz and Jimmy last week, this week, I like Song and Tumendenberel. You know what I'm talking about? I like those two individuals to play the roles of Ramiz and Jimmy this week, possibly finding finishes inside the distance, but at the very least, winning via decision. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I like Zhang. You know what I mean? So I don't have to really go crazy and find 4 or 5 people I like. You know, because if I do that, you know, I like you and I like Choi. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm still kind of skeptical on those matchups, more so than I am on Kong and Fang. You know what I mean? So this week, if I wanted 5, it'd be 3 favorites again and 2 dogs. But within those 3 favorites would be only 1 young man and 2 females, which is not something I normally do. I've done it before, but it's not something I normally do. You know what I'm talking about? I do like those 5, though. You know what I mean? I like Kong. I like Zhang. I like Fang. I like Song. And I like Tumendenberel. You know what I'm talking about? I like those 3 favorites. And I like those 2 dogs, man. You know what I mean? Staying away from the females, I like that 1 favorite and them 2 dogs. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I think those 2 dogs bark and pop the fuck off on this card, man. I think Tumendenberel possibly finds a finish inside the distance over Hernandez, man. You know what I'm talking about? He's 8-0. He's proven that he can get it done via KO, TKO, via submission, or via decision. On the other side, Carlos Hernandez has proven that he can lose via KO, TKO, lose via submission, and lose via decision. You understand what I'm saying to you? While the levels of opposition may be a bit different as far as what they've been competing against, I like the body of work that I've seen produced for what it's worth up against who it's been produced, again, up against from Tumendenberel. You know what I'm talking about? And I think he gets it done, man. I think he gets it done, possibly inside the distance via KO, TKO, via submission, or at the very least, he wins it via unanimous decision. I don't see it being a majority. I don't see it being a split. If it goes to full 15 minutes, I see it being a unanimous decision for old boy whose name I don't know how to pronounce. And if there's a finish inside the distance, I see it coming via KO, TKO, or via submission from old boy whose name I don't know how to pronounce. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I'm very solid on that side with that underdog. You know what I mean? Now, Song. Why I'm solid on Song? He's fighting Salikov. With all due respect to Salikov, man. You know what I mean? He's fighting Salikov, man. And I know a lot of people might not get it when I'm comparing him to Dennis Seaver, but Salikov is like a welterweight version of a Dennis Seaver to me. You know what I'm talking about? The way they, you know, they're kind of stiff and upright. They're solid. I'm not going to say they're so much well-rounded, but they're solid, proving that they can be dangerous up against certain levels of opposition on the feet in the striking department, but they only really have, they're technical, you know what I mean? But they only really have a couple tricks up their sleeve. Like Dennis Seaver had his spinning heel kick, the spinning sabate kick, you know, a couple other little spinny, flashy things that when he was able to get him off, which more times than not, he wasn't able to get him off, but when he was able to get him off, you know, they look nice, you know what I mean? That's Salikov, man. Salikov nor Song are high-volume strikers, but Salikov, the most significant strikes he's ever landed in a UFC fight is around 63, I believe. Now, there's no significant difference with the most that Song has landed up in the 80s and in the 70s, because he's landed in the 60s as well. You know what I'm talking about? But, you know, it is what it is, man. I'm not going to get behind anybody, you know, trying to move me to the Salikov side based off of Song being a low-volume fighter. Salikov is a low-volume striker as well, and he's proven that he can be an even lower-volume striker at times. You understand what I'm saying to you? And Song's more well-rounded of a mixed martial artist. He can take this one down to the ground and get it done via submission, man. He can get it done in his home country If it goes the distance, the full 15 minutes, because it'll be highly competitive and closely contested with Song just edging it out slightly, absolutely everywhere, in my personal opinion, because he'll probably be able to secure a couple takedowns over the course of 15 minutes. And at the very least, if he doesn't, he'll slow it down for what it's worth, even more than it's already slow inside there during that fight. He'll slow Salikov down even more, put him up against the cage, land some foot stomps, some knees to the inner thigh, you know what I mean? Possibly throw an elbow on the disengagement and get back to work. Possibly get him down to the ground and search for a submission. It is what it is, man. I've never been high on the Salikov side. And Song, while I'm not extremely high on the Song side, he's solid and he's well-rounded. And he's a, you know, more well-rounded mixed martial artist with more roots to victory. And he's in his home country. Outside of a finish for Salikov, I don't see how he wins this matchup, honestly. That's just my personal opinion. So that's why I'm solid on that dog, man. You know what I'm talking about? And they're both slight, around 155 for around 150 for Song and 155 for TUMENDEMBEREL. But I'm very solid on those two dogs for the reason that I told you. So I have a play on just them by themselves. You know what I'm talking about? But then, you know, Zhang, I like Zhang, man. You know, Zhang and Song got some good energy going on right now. You know, they was linked up next to each other, you know, geeking out, signing posters, doing they 1-2. You know, I'm talking about a little slap boxing, wrestling around. You know, it's good vibes and good energy over there on that side of things for these individuals in their home country. You know what I'm talking about? And I think Zhang's gonna, you know, get this one done relatively quickly. You know what I mean? I think he might get Boy out of there inside the first 5 minutes, but either way you look at it, it's definitely Zhang's matchup to lose, and I don't think he's going to fumble the bag, you know, in his home country on the main card for what it's worth. You know what I mean? So I like Zhang. I just told you why I like them two dogs, and that's why I like that favorite. Now, Wang Kong, how can I not like her? I don't need to explain to you why I like her in her matchup against Fernandez. Now, Fernandez is somebody who's never been finished. All of her losses come via decision, if I'm not mistaken. But that does not mean that, you know, Kong won't be the first one to come out here and get her out of there inside the distance. Something vicious. You know what I mean? So I like Kong. And then Fang. You know what I mean? Fang, I like her for the same reasons that I like Kong. I think she's going to come out here and make this one look relatively easy. Get this one done, possibly via KO, TKO, inside the distance, possibly inside round one. But at the bare minimum, she's going to win this one via unanimous decision. So I like Kong as the biggest favorite on the card. I like Zhang and Fang as two of the other biggest favorites on the card. And then to get that money line, to get that number, you know, somewhere where I really like it because I'm fucking degenerate, I'm wrapping them two dogs in there that I like. And that 5-leg parlay now comes together at plus like 1046. Last night it came together at plus 1144. Now it's coming together like around 10 something. Tomorrow it'll come probably together like around not plus 941 or something, because both TUMENDEMBEREL, he'll probably go from plus 150 down to like plus 130, plus 120 something. You know what I'm talking about? As well as Song leading up to fight night. Closer we get to fight night, the more parlays get put in on these apps and in, you know, in these casinos, and every which way these parlays are going to get parlayed up. Individuals will be coming to their senses. They will be parlaying Song up, or at least offering Song as a, you know, a swap out option on a parlays, man, because again, like I said, he's in his home country. He's fighting Salikov, who, while Song is 30 something, Salikov is like 40 or 40 something. You know what I'm talking about? So for what it's worth, Song has the home country advantage. He has the youth advantage, and he has the slight volume advantage, as well as the wrestling and grappling advantage, the jiu-jitsu advantage, and the all-around, you know, fact that he's just a better all-around mixed martial artist advantage. He has all of these advantages working for himself. So that's why I'm on who I'm on. That's why I like who I like, man. You know, we're going to slide out of here and, you know, at a smooth 60. I ain't gonna hold y'all ear hostage too much longer. This joint rolled up. I ain't even fired up and burn it down. I'm finna go do that now and probably tap in and bug y'all with some 15 and 60-second clips as far as parlays are concerned and some of this little, you know, extra shit I might want to get off my chest. Huh? But we gonna slide out of here, man. I told you why I like them two dogs, man. And then I told you about those three favorites, which I ain't had to tell you much about. But I told you why I like them two dogs. And if you put them two dogs with those three significant favorites, they come together for over 10 times your money. And that thing's going to smack. It's going to smack. Appreciate you for tapping in. Peace and blessings.